Hi everyone, welcome to the fourth session of the hands-on series, Journey Builder series. And today we have Sayali as the builder and Tim will be driving. So Tim, I will turn it over to you.
Thank you, JB, and welcome, Sayali, for being our builder this week. We're looking forward to building with you. We're going to be building out the journey that we've been working on the last couple of sessions. For those who attended the last session, we were able to, in our journey, we have the three different paths, hot, warm, and cold paths, and we were able to create a task and update a lead in a Salesforce CRM environment. So this session, we're going to be working on finishing up the journey, building out dynamic content, excuse me, to send personalized messages to those subscribers. And then if we have time, do the update contact activity. So we'll get started in a second, but I wanted to introduce Sayali and have you introduce yourself and your background in Marketing Cloud or Salesforce.
Yes, for sure. Yes, I'm not muted. I was just checking. But yeah, I have been in the industry for quite a long. I feel like 14 years, and I've seen the evolution. Worked on Pardot, Exact Target, then Pardot, and then Marketing Cloud. Right. So yeah, I was a bit off when I became a mother. I'm mother to a toddler who is 2 years and 8 months. So I was taking my time off. I was working on the business side. I worked with prestigious consultancies like Accenture and Cognizant, and with a product-based organization which was in the fintech industry. So yeah, pretty much a good hold of different industries like retail, consumer goods and services, fintech. Have very good exposure to multiple systems, sales, service, marketing cloud being my home cloud. Have good experience around marketing cloud personalization and intelligence as well. So yeah, that's me. Thank you. And
Awesome.
I'm so
Fantastic.
happy to be participating and volunteering here as a builder and being with you, team,
Awesome.
and Jyotsna.
Well, excellent. Thank you for joining, and it'd be great to leverage all of your experience as we're building this out. Okay, so you're in Marketing Cloud. I think what we'll do is we'll navigate to the journey itself where we had left off from our last session. Yep, so if we go to Journey Builder. Oh, if you just refresh your screen, you might have let's see, if you go to the blue cloud.
Do you want me to log out and log back in?
It's weird that that didn't work for you.
Because when I logged in, I saw all of the studios were locked, and then when you stated that you gave me the admin access, I saw that the locks were off. But do you want me to quickly log out and log back in?
Sure. Yeah. Usually I think if you refresh it works, but yeah, we'll try that. Good troubleshooting.
And just quickly stop sharing and log in here and share my screen back. Just taking a while because I did change my password. Sorry. Let's share back my screen. Okay, there we go.
Enable third-party cookies in your browser. Huh. That is a weird
Is it
arrow.
big? Okay. I am working from my office office
Oh,
workstation,
okay.
and I
Okay,
think
perfect.
they must have disabled it. Yeah.
Okay, awesome. Now, if we can navigate to the business unit, I think if we select, because you're not seeing all the journeys in there. Yeah, if you select the partner main, yeah, that will give us a bigger variety of journeys to choose from. And then if you do the last modified over there on the right, if you click on that and then click on it one more time, the journey that we're looking for is that first one at the top, test, lead, nurture. Okay, so this is the journey we've been working on. And so like we mentioned last session, we created the task activity, update the lead activity. And now what we want to do is add communications to the warm and the cold path so that we can add an engagement split, make that work, and feed that dynamic content to our journey members. So before we add the email activity or update this journey, what we're going to do is we're actually going to go into Email Studio and create the email content itself. So yeah, so we'll go into Email Studio and we're going to create one of our emails from scratch. Yeah, if you click on the Content tab. And then we do have a folder set up. So if you go under emails on the left, yeah, and then under hands-on, and then under Journey Builder Bootcamp. Yep. Okay, so we're going to create our first email. We're going to create an email that's going to go down like the warm path. So if we go to the upper right-hand corner, we're going to create an email from scratch. Yep, and we're going to select email message. Now we're going to be leveraging an email design system today just to make things a little bit easier. So we'll select creation option and we're going to select template. Yeah. And then if you go to the saved tab right below template, there we go. Yeah. And then if you click on the folder, we're going to navigate to our email design system. So under hands-on, there's an email design system folder. Yeah, so if you open up that email design system, one right above that. If you go back to that folder, yeah, it's right there. Okay, so in this email design system folder, we've got a couple of different folders. We've got modules. Well, from the top, we've got development. That's where you can work on your development, whether you're working on emails or modules. We have email templates. We've got images where we store images. The modules folder, we're going to be using that in a second to bring over the different pieces and parts for the emails. Scripts is where you can put in, custom AMP script. But we're going to select the template folder here. And we're going to select this template. And then you can hit select in the lower right-hand corner. Okay, perfect. Now let's name this email. We could say this like warm ask. Yeah.
Warm?
Warm, yeah. We could say warm underscore email. Perfect. And then you can hit add content right above that. We're going to go into add the content for this email. Yeah. Okay, perfect. Let's put in a subject line. We could just say, thank you for your interest. Are you ready to talk? Okay, you can hit done. And then for our pre-header, we could say, learn more about our company, something like that. Okay, perfect. All right, so we've got a basic template set up. As you can see there, this email design system template has 3 different sections. We can put in header, footer, and then in the center body content. So we're gonna now just drag and drop over different components that we have in our modules folder. So if you go to the content tab just to the right of blocks, yep. And if you go to the folders tab, and then we're going to go to that same email design system section, but we're going to click on modules. Yeah. And this is the library of all the different pieces and parts that we're going to use to create our email. So let's start off with a header logo, that header _1 logo. Let's just drag that over into the header content section. Perfect. So that's all set. That's basically just giving us a basic logo. We can hit done editing there. There's not much we need to modify there. And then let's put in the body content section, let's go scroll down to body text left. If you want to drag that over, this is going to be sort of our intro section there. You can hit done editing there. And then let's put in a footer. There's a footer without social media there. Yeah, you can drag that over. So there we go. We've got our 3 different sections there. And then we're gonna add a header script. You can see that at the top, that header script. We want to add that to right above the body text left section. So right, yeah, that's fine. We can do that right above the logo. It's perfect as well. Excellent. So this header script is, if you've seen a couple of our sessions before, this is a code snippet block. It's got, this is where we're going to be doing all of our personalization data that's going to drive the data in this email itself. Okay, so the first area that we'd like to personalize is we'd like to personalize and add a greeting to this email that says, dear so-and-so. So Sayali, if you duplicate this tab, we're going to go to the data extension that is used for this journey. Yep. And that's going to be helpful for us because it's going to have us determine the data that's coming into this journey that's going to determine how we can personalize this, this email. So if you open up that data extensions folder, and then it's under hands-on. So if you hit the plus on that hands-on, and then it should be under Journey Builder Bootcamp. But I think if you just click on the Journey Builder Bootcamp, that might be, so if you click on the Journey Builder Bootcamp folder itself. Yeah. And let's select the bottom data extension, the test lead nurture data extension. So if we just actually click on that data extension, yep, there you go. So this was the data extension that actually feeds into the journey itself. You can see the different fields that we've got here. Let's click into the records tab and take a look at the data that we've got here. So these are based on leads that we're pulling in from the Salesforce CRM environment. You can see, like you were just highlighting, the lead ID for the subscriber key. And we've got some data in here. We've got, like, for instance, first name. So that is probably what we'll probably use to personalize the greeting. We've also got product in there that's going to help us determine the different content. We're going to use that there as well. We've also got predictive score in there that's going to help us. We can create some custom content depending on how hot, warm, or cold that lead is. And then we've also got the owner ID, which is going to give us an idea of how we can personalize that the email to contact a specific person. In this example, the person who owns this lead. So we're going to start with first name. So we want to personalize this email with the first name in the email itself. So let's go over to back over to the email. And we do have a block in the content block itself that we'll be able to populate. We'll do sort of like a basic greeting. So if we hit done editing here, there's one more block we're going to bring over. And it's that greeting block. So if you see that, if you want to drag that greeting, yeah, let's drag that right above the body text left section. Yep. We'll just drop it right there, right below. There we go. Perfect. Okay, and so you can see this is, basic AMP script. It's using the v function to output the value of the variable greeting. Now let's go into the header script and let's go find to see if that greeting variable is being set. So if you go to your top, that header script at the top, in this header script, what can be good, best practice is not only to create a header script, but also to include common values that you might use in your personalization for any email, not necessarily a journey email. Okay, so that you can see that variable set at greeting variable, it's set to attribute value of greeting on line 8. So let's go back to the date extension. Let's go find the value that has the first name in there. So it's first name. So if you click on the properties tab, we'll be able to copy that variable, that first name variable. So let's copy that first name variable over there.
Tim, I'm not able to hear you.
Okay. Tim, I think you're on mute. We cannot hear you. You're on mute or something with wrong with the issue with the audio. We still can't hear you, Tim. We can't hear you.
We
You're
can't
on
hear
mute,
you.
Tim.
Sorry.
Yeah,
Sorry
it's all
about
good
that.
now.
For some reason, I lost my connection. Sorry about that. Okay,
Okay,
so let's
it's
hit
all
done
good now.
editing here. Okay, good. Let's try just let's try previewing this personalization as we have it now, just with that first name variable. Yeah, so we'll hit done editing. Let's hit preview and test. And we're going to navigate to that date extension. So if we hit the little blue, or if we go back to the email, and there's a little blue folder. Yep, we're going to click into that. We're going to navigate to the date extension we're just looking at. So if we go under date extension, we go to hands-on, and then we're going to go to Journey Builder Bootcamp. We're going to click on that folder, and then it's that, yep, S3 Nurture date extension. You can select any folder, any record there. Okay, good. So we're seeing that the personalization works. So it's good just to make sure that before you add too much complexity to your emails, that that's working. And so if you hit right to the left of that blue folder, you can hit that arrow, and it's going to arrow through some of those records, and we can just validate. Yeah, these are all the different leads that we've added in here. And I think Sally, we've got you added in here as well. Yeah. As a lead, we'd created you a lead and imported you in here. Okay, good. So part one, personalizing the simple greeting, that's done. And another thing that's kind of nice about what we're doing this, because we have data that we've created in this data extension, we're validating all of this before we actually add the email to the journey. So it's just easier to go through any errors and work this through in Content Builder versus, doing it in Journey Builder. Sometimes the errors won't appear, the emails just won't work. So it's often best to do this in Content Builder. Okay, so the next thing that we want to add in is the ability to show different content depending on that product field. So we're going to use a dynamic content block. It's kind of a fun tool. We could also use AmpScript, but just because of time, we'll use this dynamic content block. So if we click Add Content, and then we're going to drag over the dynamic content block. It's on, yeah, and we'll drag that up right below the body text left, right below that paragraph. Perfect. And then let's select, we're going to click that browse button. We've got two different content blocks that we had set up prior to this. Yeah, so if you select that browse button, there you go. And then in the Journey Builder Bootcamp folder, yeah, let's select 401k here. We have two different blocks here. Yeah, let's select that. We can hit select. So this will be the default, content for 401k products. Now let's create a rule. We'll just create an alternate rule. See that? Yeah, and click onto that rule. And then let's select the date extension that we want to use there. Yep. And then we'll hit OK. Now we're going to want to navigate to that same date extension. And I think it's under hands-on, and it's in Journey Builder. So if you click on the hands-on folder, there you go. And then under Journey Builder, so if you click on Journey Builder Bootcamp, and it's the test, yep. And then we're going to OK. Now the field that's determining the product is that product __C. So if we drag that over, and then in the you've got a lot of different drop downs, and that is equal to, let's just put in contains. It's near the bottom. Yeah, there we go. And then let's just put in a credit card. Perfect. And then it doesn't really tell you this clearly, but there's a little select button at the top that's going to have you select the content. Yep. And let's go back to that Journey Builder folder. Yep. And then if you select credit cards there. Perfect. And then I think if you hit save, perfect. And let's hit done editing. And let's try previewing this just to see if this function.
Tim, again, something is wrong with your audio. Not able to hear you. JB, it's just me, or are you
One
also not
second.
able to hear?
Tim, yeah, it's for everyone. Tim, I think you have audio issues. I think he's connecting to the audio again.
Okay, okay.
Sorry about that. That happened again. I'm just going to go off video.
Yeah,
I don't know if that's causing it. Yeah, sorry about that. Okay, so yeah, and Sally, let's try navigating on the left to another record. Let's just see how that might, yeah, if you go to the arrow to the left of that, there you go. Yep, so this one has product as 401k, so good. So that functionality is working. So there's some good functionality of standard out of the box dynamic content block. Again, it's based on the data points that we're bringing in for this journey. Okay, that's excellent. All right, our third personalization is let's personalize this email based on the predictive score. So to do that, let's go to the header script, and what we want to do is we want to set a variable for that predictive score. So after line 8, let's add a new line after line 8. If you hit return, we'll add a space there. Yep. And then back on line 9, let's do a set. We're going to set, and then we'll do an @ sign, and then we'll just call it predictive. Okay. And then we'll do an equals. And then let's copy that attribute value first name from line 8, because we're going to use the attribute value function there. Okay, perfect. And then let's go back to the date extension and let's find the field that has that predictive score. Yeah, let's put that in there as a variable. Perfect. Awesome. Okay, so what we're going to do in our body text left is we're going to have that body text left text be variable depending on that predictive score. We're going to use like a nested if-then statement in there. So let's just copy that @predictive variable, just the variable itself. Perfect. And then let's go into the body text left block. So if we hit done editing here, and then let's go into that block where it says this is body text left placeholder, yeah. And we're gonna go into the HTML editor tab in here, yeah. And then if you could just widen the window a little bit, it'll just give us a little bit more room. Perfect, excellent. So we're gonna add an additional paragraph to this paragraph, and it's only gonna appear if that predictive score is, say it's warm. So at the end of the products period, at the very end of that text in that paragraph, yeah, if you put your cursor in there, we're going to add a, if you've done HTML, we're going to do an open bracket, like an open caret, Yep, and we're going to do a BR. Yep, let's do one more of those. You can copy that entire. This is going to give us a space. We'll do another one right after that. Perfect. Okay, excellent. And let's just hit return. It'll just give us some space to work around there. Okay, excellent. All right, so now we're going to do a nested if-then statement here. So to do that, we're going to, after that second BR, let's do a %% open bracket. Yep, and then we're going to do that square bracket. Perfect. And let's do a capital IF. And then let's paste in that variable that you had copied. Oh, sorry. Yeah, I think it was @ sign and then predictive. Perfect. And then let's just add a space between the if and the predictive. The if and the @ predictive. Perfect. And then let's do a equals. Yeah, one more equals. Perfect. And then let's do a space and then a single quote. And then let's do warm. Yep, and the end quote. And then let's do a space. And let's do a then, all caps. And then let's do a close bracket, %%. Okay, and then for this, let's do a space. And then we can say custom message for warm lead. Perfect. We hit a period. We'll do a period there. And then we'll do a space. We'll do a bracket, excuse me, a %% open bracket. And then we're going to do an end if, all one word. Close bracket, %%. Perfect. And then let's just go back to that date extension. I just want to make sure that warm is an actual variable for that predictive score. Yes, if we go to the actual records itself, let's just see if there's some warm in there. It could be warm. Yeah, okay, I just wanted to check. It could have been warm lead. So it looks like warm is correct there. Okay, excellent. So let's go back to our email. Let's hit save. We've got some good work done here. Yeah. And then if you hit save in the upper right-hand corner, let's just save that just in case. Perfect. All right, let's try previewing this and see if that custom message comes up for just the warm leads. Okay, so you have a hot lead, hot predictive score, so nothing appears there. Nothing for that one. Okay, there we go. There's warm. We've got that custom message for the warm lead. Excellent. There we go. So there's another way of using a variable, setting that variable in your header script, and then using inline AMP script if-then statement to personalize that. You know, obviously it could be a lot more complicated, but just wanted to use the basic functionality here. Okay, last step, what we're going to want to do, well, two things. One we want to do is we want to add, let's go back to the content tab. Let's add a call to action button in here. So if we go back to the modules folder, So if we go to content, yep. And then let's select that folder just because sometimes it resets and it'll give you all the different blocks. Yeah, let's go back to that modules folder. Yep. And then let's bring over the call to action button, the one at the bottom. Yeah, and let's bring that right below the 401k services. That's going to be our call to action. Perfect. We can hit done editing on this. That should be all set. And then one more block. Let's bring over the contact Gray underscore Cervello. So that's a little bit further up in the, yep, and it's that one right there. Let's bring that right below the call to action button. Yep, perfect. Okay, excellent. So that completes the email there. Let's click into the call to action button. We'll just take a look at the settings here of where this call to action button is going to. Then we'll kind of come back to this rich text block or this signature block. So let's go into the HTML editor. And let's just change, just so we can change the text on this. You see where it says call to action? Let's say, let's just change that to ready to talk instead of call to action. So it's, yeah, you can see that it's near the bottom you can see right before the end, there we go. Yeah, let's change that to ready to talk. Perfect, excellent. And then you can see in the href, in this anchor tag on line 13, this is going to be going to our Cervello website. So it's a pretty basic URL there. If we had some more time, we could use a Cloud Pages URL to go to a specific cloud page, or use add a parameter like the the lead ID in there. But since we're sort of short on time, we'll leave that as it is. That looks good. Let's hit done editing, and then the last part we want to add functionality to is this signature block. Now what this is going to do is going to populate the person for this lead to reach out to and get in touch with if they have any questions. So let's go back into the header script. What this is basically doing is outputting a bunch of different variables. You can see there are a bunch of different V functions in here. It's outputting the full name, the from name, a bunch of different, the email. And I think that's all set in the header script up above. So if we go to the header script, and yeah, you can sort of see this was brought in as a default in our header script. And you can see all those different rep signature values are being set at the bottom, there. And what we're using to set all these variables is we're on line 13, we're using a lookup rows. We're looking up to a date extension, which is on line 12, is the user Salesforce synchronized date extension. So if you pass in your journey a user ID, it'll look it up and find the appropriate user and pull on that information, right? Exactly. So to make this work, we want to go back to our date extension and find the value in our date extension that has that user ID, and then we'll want to put it in that attribute value there. So if we go back to the date extension, let's go see if we can find that field. And user IDs are typically 005 numbers, so there we go. So let's go copy that owner ID field from the properties tab, and we can paste it into that attribute value section in the email. Yep. Perfect. Excellent. All right. So, if we had some more time, we would actually create this from scratch and enable this functionality, but let's just preview the email. Let's just see if this works, if that will be able to activate that signature panel down below. Okay, great. So, I am the user for all of these records. So you can see how that's populated based on that owner ID. And again, it's in the background, it's looking up to the Salesforce synchronized date extension, and it's finding all of those values. So just to proof that out, let's duplicate this tab and we can just do a quick lookup to that synchronized date extension to find those values. So if you go to the blue cloud in the upper left-hand corner, and let's go into Audience Builder. Yep, let's go to Contact Builder. And let's go to Date Extensions at the top. And we can get started on that. And then we're going to go to Synchronized Date Extensions. And if you just click on, yep. And then we're going to scroll down to user_Salesforce. It's near the bottom. Excellent. And then let's click on the records. Now let's go back to our email and we can copy that user ID in the left-hand side there. You see that? Let's copy that user ID. Yep. Let's go back to that synchronized date extension. We're going to paste in that value. And then, yep. All right. And so you can see this is the data set that's pulling in that information. So you can see in the name field, Tim Zeider. You can see the email there. You can see the phone number. So that's what this lookup's doing. It's looking up to this synchronized date extension based on that the user ID to populate those values in the email itself. Excellent. Thank you for taking us there. Let's go back to the email. And so this is all looking done. So it gives you an example of how to personalize in multiple different ways. And it sort of circles back to one of our first sessions where we were setting up the entry source and determining all of those fields when you're setting up your entry source, your entry date extension, so that you can use it to drive different paths, different activities within your journey. And now that we can see that it's driving multiple different personalization points in the email itself. So is it the end of the world if you build this and you don't have an owner ID in there and you want to add it later on? You can certainly add another field in your data extension and add that in there, but it's always good at the beginning to sort of map out what data points you'll need specifically for your email content. So, and then again, we're proofing this against the data that's in the journey. So it's all looking really good. If you wanted to, you could send a test message to yourself using the same, sender profile in the that you're going to use in the journey, just to make sure this all works. But just to save time, this is all looking good. What we'll do now is we're going to add this email to the journey itself and configure the email configuration activity. So let's go back to the Journey tab. Sally, I think it's your first tab that you'd save there. Thank you for saving that. That was really smart of you. And then let's go to version 5. I think we might have to create a new version here. I think we're at the latest version. Yeah, so let's click on, yeah, that's the running version. Let's click on a new version so that we can add the email. And let me just see if we have any questions. It looks like we don't have any questions, so we'll keep rolling. All right, excellent. So let's add the email to the warm path. So down in that activities section, you'll find that email. Yep, we'll add that. That's fine, we'll add that there. And let's click on the email itself. We'll just do some basic configuration of an email that we just created. So we're going to select a message. And the one we just created might come up in the window on the right. Typically you'll want to, you want to navigate to the folder, but since you had created this, it pops up, so that's nice. Let's just select that. We can hit summary. Okay, excellent. Now let's go to the message configuration. Let's edit that. And we're going to select our send classification. So we'll keep it as commercial. And then let's go to, we do have transactional if we wanted to select there. Let's go to the sender profile. And we're going to we'll scroll down a bit. We've got a bunch of different test sender profiles in here. And let's just do Cervelo-next on that sender profile. You can see that something always good when you're selecting that sender profile. If you have a sender profile that requires custom variables, you'll know that you'll need to have those populated. This one has, they're all static, so that's all good to go. You can see the subject line and the pre-header are populated. Well, sorry, the delivery profile, typically that's set for default, but check with your Marketing Cloud admin. Sometimes you'll want to select different delivery profiles. Typically that's set for default. And then the subject line and the pre-header does appear here. You can obviously change that if you want. If you update the email content, you'll need to make sure that you update the subject line and the pre-header if you've added this email. Once you add the email, it's sort of set based on the email that's been added. That all looks good. Let's hit summary on that. And let's go to the delivery options, see what options we have there. This is where I think we looked at briefly the delivery window. The publication list will typically want to be all subscribers unless you're using different publication lists. I think we cover this different thresholds. So this all looks good. Let's hit summary. And then one other thing I want to copy in the advanced options, if we hit edit on this as well. If you need to CC and BCC a person, that can be a simple variable that's in your data extension. If it is a variable, you can just use the %, the variable name in there. You can also use content block by key or any sort of content block by to use a script to create the CC or BCC in there as well. That all looks good. Let's hit summary. And then what also can be handy, if you hit preview and test when you're in this mode, in the message definition, yeah. Obviously, this takes you right into Content Builder while you're in Journey Builder. So it depends on how you want to, create and modify your content while you're in the journey. I think best practice is to build your email in Content Builder outside of Journey Builder, especially if you have a data extension that has values in it, gives you ability like we walked through. If you need to make an update to a journey content, it may be easier to go in the actual journey itself and then update the content versus updating the content separately in Content Builder. We'll show you why in a second. But just wanted to, show this functionality that you can go right into Content Builder in Journey Builder. So if you go to the create an email, there's a little arrow to the left that'll take you to the left, right back into there. Okay, great. The one thing to note is that whenever you're creating, whenever you're updating an email content, especially if you're doing this in Content Builder, when you hit the done button and that that journey is active, a little pop-up will show up showing that you're updating content, and that's a sign to know that your actual content is being updated in the journey. So that's all looking good. Let's hit done there. A common problem is that if you say you have a use case where you need to update your content, your email content in the journey, you go into Content Builder, you make those changes, and then you send people through and you sort of like, well, why didn't the content change? You actually have to go into the email content itself in the journey, hit that done button. You'll see that little spool that's saying it's updating. That's your sign to know that the actual email in the journey itself is being updated. It doesn't update unless you do that step. All right, just one more thing before we wrap for the day. We've covered a lot. Let's go into an engagement split, and let's add an engagement split to this journey. So if we scroll down to, I think it's in that first row. Let's add that right after the email itself. We might need to add a wait step in there first. Okay, let's move the warm email just to the left of that wait step in that same path. Yeah, perfect. Now we can add that engagement split right after that wait step. Excellent. Perfect. Let's click into that engagement split. And we're going to select that email. We're going to select the message. We're going to click that warm email, which is, or I think it automatically clicks it. So that's perfect. We're going to hit summary. Let's click on the message metrics. This will give us our options of what we want to do. So now in this example, this is someone in the warm path. We want them to go back up to the hot path if they click on the ready to talk call to action button that we had selected. So let's hit click. Let's just click on the box to the left of ready to talk. Any other click they're not ready to talk. Perfect. So let's hit summary. So that's going to, only if they click on that ready to talk button will we move them up to the hot path. Let's hit done. And let's hit save. We've been doing some good work here just so that we save this in the journey. And then last but not least, we're going to take the no path and we're going to bring that down to the cold path. So if they don't engage, they're not ready to talk, we're going to continue to serve them up communications over time. So let's go down on the left. Let's add a join. It's in the orange section, this flow control. So yeah, we'll add the join at the end of that no path. Perfect. And then depending on where you want to bring this in, let's add that to the path right before, on that cold path, right before the decision split. So if you click on that drag to join, yep, and let's just add that, yeah, right there is fine. Let's see if we can add that. Maybe it has to be after that wait step. Let's see. No, it's not giving us there. Let's try adding it somewhere in that path. No, you're good there. If you try that drag to join, it may need to be after. So if you try pulling down, yeah, let's see if we can find another spot on that path. Okay, there we go. Perfect. Yeah, you can sort of see it change the landscape a little bit there. So it's the cold path is now going to be fed into, that in that decision path is going to be fed into that new path that we created. And so if you're in that warm path, you don't engage right away, you're not ready to talk, you're going to be fed down into the cold path. And just to sort of build out that cold path a little bit, let's add an email right after that join. We're not going to click into the actual email itself, but we'll just add it right after that join. On the path, yep, right there. Perfect. Excellent. Excellent. And let's hit save. We won't actually add an email in there today just because we're sort of running out of time. But that's how you can build out your cold path. You would duplicate your email that you created for the warm path. You'd make it a little bit different depending on how those communications would go. And then you could add multiple different emails along the way. Say you want to communicate with those cold email recipients 3 or 4 or 5 times. You want to serve them up, and you can add different emails and different different activities on that cold path itself. So I know we're at time. Great job, Sayali, on working through that, going through the personalization of that email content, adding in that engagement split. We didn't get to update contact, but maybe we'll cover that in a future hands-on session. Let me see, there's got a question. Let's see. I can see the data extension location in the preview window and in the email series. If I can see the data extension location navigation in the preview window and in the email studio subscribers data extension. I can see the data extension navigation in the preview window, email studio subscribers data extension. yeah, let's take a look at that. Sally, if you go to your email content itself, your email tab, and let's hit that preview blue button, the folder, sorry, you're in the right, the blue folder, yeah. And then I say, so can I see the data extension location in the preview window and in the Email Studio subscribers data extension? I think, so if we go to Journey Builder and then Test Lead Nurture, yeah, so that will work in the email content. You'll see the same window in the journey itself when you're a content builder. So hopefully that answers that question. Lakshmi, you might have another way of seeing that data extension. I think might be your question as well. So anyway, hopefully that answered that question. Any other questions before we wrap? Okay. So next week's session, Michelle Medina will be, we're going to be creating a Salesforce data fed journey. She's got a couple of different use cases and she's going to use a couple of sessions to build that out. So a different entry source, a couple of different variations, probably some different activities there as well. So, definitely look out to join that session. Please reach out if you'd like to be a builder for that session. And Sally, any questions, any thoughts on the build today?
No, I think thank you so much, firstly, Tim, for this amazing session. And I was recollecting all my knowledge, and this was a good refresher for me. So yeah, thank you so much.
Okay, excellent. Well, thanks everybody. Enjoy the sessions next week. Again, we've got 2 deep dive sessions on Tuesday and Thursday. And we'll pass that back over to JB.
Thank you, Tim. Thank you, Sayali. Thanks, everyone. And an important announcement for tomorrow. Tomorrow, the session is going to be at 10 a.m. instead of 8 a.m. I will send out the reminder emails as well. Make sure that you notice the change just for tomorrow's session, and the rest of the other sessions will continue at 8 a.m. So thanks, everyone, and we hope to see you tomorrow again. Bye.